Hey y'all,
Hey,
sorry
we're
we had a
back.
little technical difficulty. Sorry about that. But we're going to jump on in this topic. We're going to give you guys a little time to jump
Let's
on
give them
board.
some time.
We'll give you guys a little time. Don't forget my YouTube channel out there. There's also Beyond the Standards that's coming up on October 7th. If you want to purchase a ticket, it's on my page. You can click the link and purchase your ticket. There's limited seats, and there's no purchase of tickets at the door. So it's key that you make sure you purchase your tickets before then. Also, I'll be there. I'll be answering questions, giving you some real answers. If you ask me a real question, I'm going to give you a good, real answer. So now I get to connect with you guys face to face, and I want to see you guys' face. So come out and support. I also have some of my stuff on sale there as well. So I want you guys to come out, and support. There'll be vendors. There'll be tons of stuff there. So come on out, and then sometime in the next year, I want to throw this out here, and I should have said it in the first segment too, but I want to throw this out here. Sometime in the next year, I want to do a summit myself. And my summit is going to cater to pretty much what we do today, but then we have some face-to-face interaction. We have a secure place where we can ask any questions and I give you any answers. We'll have vendors there as well. We'll have, a ton of stuff going on. So I want you guys to, come out once I put it out there, to let you guys know when I'll be doing it. Sometime,
So
like I said, in 2018.
Will it be on the After Dark Summit?
No, we'll touch bases on both.
Okay.
I want to do the first one. I do want to split it up. I'm trying to debate, do I want to do women first or do I want to do couples? So I'm praying on that and ask God to lead me in the right direction. I would love to do a sex expo. I would love to do a sex expo. For married people, and if some single people want to come and learn some stuff so they can prepare for when they get married, they're welcome to jump on board. I can't tell you to not have sex because you're grown. But I do want you to make sure, you guys, understand the importance of, keeping your spouse, keeping your, mate, making sure you're doing everything you need to do. That's basically my goal.
Right.
I don't want people to make the same mistakes I made. I'm glad that, I made my mistakes and, and my husband made his mistakes and how we did it, but we still continue to, move forward and, made this thing work. 24 years strong, 29 years together. So, next year here's the interesting thing. Next year we'll be 25 years married, and I will be making a big 50. So I'll be 50 next year as well. So I'm 50. I will be 50, girl. I'm 49 this year, girl. I just turned 49 this year, and I'll be 50 next year with 25 years along the same year of 50. So I'm speaking into existence that 2018 is going to be the best year. There's going to be some changes in my life, and I'm excited about it. And you guys come on, join this ride with me. It's going to be a nice ride.
Okay, we're gonna share this. Share if you
Please
know
do.
some couples, married couples, whoever that want to talk about being spontaneous in their love life with their spouse. Share it. Have them jump on. Sometimes just having the information is
sometimes
really
just listening to a person that's live and upfront that you can hear say something, because a lot of times you think these things, but a lot of times people don't like to speak them. And so that's why, I love doing this, because I'm just going to be honest. I don't ever want somebody to make the mistakes I made. I didn't make too many mistakes, but I'm just going to say, I don't ever want you to make the mistakes or put yourself in a cocoon where your marriage can't grow.
All
All
so
right.
let's jump into it. So your topic, I say it, your, you
Yeah.
right?
Our topic.
Is let's talk about being spontaneous.
Yep.
So before we dive in the deep waters, because I know you want to go there, what is being spontaneous?
Being spontaneous is never to have everything planned. You know how some people always want stuff planned? Well, we going to have sex at 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
Why
No,
not?
be spontaneous. It's Sunday and you want some, get some. It's Monday. You want to do something. You want to try something different. Be spontaneous. Spontaneous is stepping outside of who you are on a daily basis.
Okay.
You're going to try some new
That's what I was
things.
gonna say. So stepping outside of myself, stepping outside of. So being spontaneous. What's the benefit in being spontaneous?
It keeps your marriage or your relationship lively and happy. It keeps it. Being spontaneous allows growth. Being spontaneous allows curveballs that your mate or you won't see coming. And when I mean curveballs, I mean bad curveballs. I mean some good curveballs. So you're allowing yourself to get them, get some good curveballs coming your way. You don't ever want to be stale, stagnant, in the same position or in the same place all the time. Because think about it. If you have a choice, do you want to eat ham and cheese sandwiches 365 days a year?
If I like that ham.
No, you're not going to eat it 300. You could like the hell out of some ham. But trust me, you ain't going to want to eat it 365 days a year. You're going to want to change. Your palate is going to want something different. So that palate needs something different, if you know what I mean. So change your palate.
I know what you mean.
Palate needs something different. A female palate needs something different. A male palate needs something different. Somebody at some point gonna be like, well, I need something different than what we're doing on a daily basis. Be spontaneous. Trust me, they'll appreciate it.
So spontaneous is coming out of the norm.
Yep.
You would say, and just trying something
new.
So I'm afraid to be spontaneous.
What you afraid of, girl?
Let me build you up to the
question. I'm about to say, what you afraid of, girl?
So if I'm afraid of being spontaneous, what is a little step that I can take where it'll kind of, open that door where I could be more accepting to being spontaneous?
The most easiest way to approach it and being spontaneous, you could be like, normally he initiates it. You could be like, you know what, hon, I sent him a text earlier during that day. And when you send that text, you say, you know what, I'm ready for, us to do some stuff. Come prepared and be ready to do some things. So you don't have to be vocal about it. You don't have to be straight up front. But you could be light and forthcoming and saying, I want you. You know what I'm saying? So you could approach it that way. You don't have to, and then you'll learn ways to approach it in a way where, you guys have that conversation and he understands your language and you understand his language. So it's all different ways you can approach it. If you're afraid to send him a text, write a card, put on his seat. Hey, when you come home, I got something good waiting for you. I got a goodie bag for you. A goodie bag. And it's full of everything you like.
So start off with a note. Or maybe a text message.
You could do simple stuff like, you know what, I'm gonna have a dinner for 2. Make sure the kids are down. Well, when you come home, honey, I'm gonna have a dinner for 2. Have a dinner for 2, and then in that conversation of your dinner, just talking how was your work day, blah blah blah, and then move into it and say, you know what, I'm really enjoying this, and I would love if we can go upstairs and make love. That ain't what I would say.
What you would say?
I would say, you know what, when we get finished eating this meal, I got something for you. I got something.
Horny.
I can't say what I want to say.
Say this after dark. Say what you want.
If me and him eating after we finish, I'm probably gonna be the one to say, you know what, you need to probably hurry up and finish that meal because I want to give you some of this Thundercat.
Wait, girl, you didn't got another name for it.
That's what I call it.
It's Kitty. It then grew from Kitty to Thundercat.
No, that's different. That's different. Meow means Kitty hungry. Okay. But my name, I should say his name, he named it, is what I would say to him. And that's just me being direct. Some people are not direct like I am. I'm comfortable in my space. I'm comfortable in my marriage. I'm comfortable all around to be honest and upfront. And my husband is fine with it. He'll be like, okay, let's go. Let's hurry up.
I never look at Thundercats the same again.
Don't look at Thundercats again.
And throw the video away. So being spontaneous could be me sending him a little note, sending him a little text message because I'm more comfortable in myself now. So what? So a comment was like, some people don't like the aggressiveness,
and you don't have to be
baby steps.
And that's what I said to you guys. I'm different. I'm so different because I'm comfortable in my marriage. I'm comfortable in my space. I'm comfortable with who I am. If you're not comfortable with who you are, take baby steps, and you can approach it in a baby step way where you could be like, you know what, hon. You know what? We're eating. I'm fixing you, dinner. I just want to see if you give me a back rub. I want to see if we can move. That's being spontaneous, but that's being spontaneous in your own way. Okay. You don't have to be spontaneous in my way because my way is raw and uncut. And I've been in this space and comfortable enough where I'm direct. I'm so direct. He understands me, and I have to, give kudos to him and thank him for that. But you don't have to be like I am. That's just me. It works for me. It may not work for you.
So you raw and uncut.
Trust me. I'm just raw and uncut. I know. The thing about me is this. I know what I want, and I'm going to go for what I want.
Okay.
And so because I know what I want, I'm going to go for what I want, then there's no way for me to be fearful or, afraid to approach it, because if I know what I want and I won't get what I want, I have to be direct and honest. Okay. I can't, walk around chase around the bush and be like, what you think we should do? Right. No, we should go get up in this bed and take care of some business.
So spontaneous can just be little gestures like notes,
gestures,
cards.
Correct.
What about spontaneous places? Like how do I gear up to say, let's backyard, not just in a bedroom. So how as a person, because it could be male or female, coming out of the shell of being spontaneous, how do you do that?
You can be spontaneous in a couple of different ways. I'm going to say if you choose to be spontaneous, make sure the kids ain't home. Make sure the kid is not home. Make sure they're not home.
Make sure what?
Make sure the kid is not home. Because if the kid's home, your spontaneous act going to be just a disaster. So I'm going to say make sure you're home alone when you choose to do some of these spontaneous things. You could do spontaneous things in your bedroom. You may choose not to, do it in the bed. There's a flow.
There's a what flow?
Flow. That's a flow. That's a flow. That's my southern talking. There's a flow. You can get on that floor and you can try some things. So I'm going to say stop locking yourself in a box.
Right.
And expecting that things in your relationship and your marriage need to be guided by what's out there, or needs to be the mold that's created needs to stay that way and it's unbreakable. No. Break that mold and recreate your own mold for yourself. Right. Because you're in that marriage, you're in an individual, you and your spouse are one. You guys need to decide that's whatever's going to make it happy for you, do it. Right. Don't put yourself in a space where you're putting yourself in a mold with what everybody else is doing. Because at some point, somebody somewhere is going to get bored. Right. Somebody.
So really creating what's right for you and your mate to be spontaneous. And maybe I might do cards where you might just say, yo, Correct. Thundercat.
Correct. Correct. I might just be straight direct. Well, Thundercat here, what you want to do with Thundercat? I will be honest and be like, well, you know what? Thundercat's speaking right now. You want to talk to her? That's just me. I'm just saying, you don't have to put yourself in who you are. But what I will tell you is, clearly some of the things I've done have worked, because I haven't been in this marriage 24 years just to be here. So I'm saying you have to put yourself in a space where both of you guys are in agreement and both of you guys try new things to elevate your marriage, elevate your relationship. You have to put yourself in that space. What I would say another thing to do is, I would take time and create, book a hotel, decorate that hotel. I would, take time and plan it out. Monday I have a note saying something, and then Tuesday I have a note giving him another, message. Then Friday I have my final note telling him what he needs to pack, what he needs to prepare for, and where he needs to go. So it's things like that you can do. That's considered spontaneous.
Okay.
That's considered spontaneous. That's different places. You don't just have to be in your own space. You can create spontaneous things at your house. You can create spontaneous things in your bed. There's different things, but you have to think. Just like you go into a new job and you apply for a new job, you get the job, you're going through training. Right. Create some training for yourself so you could be spontaneous for your husband, or so you can try some new things. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with it.
So spontaneous is just communicating.
Correct.
So do I communicate with my spouse, or do I just jump up and say, why, here it is?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't just jump into the position I am in today and be straightforward and was like, look, here's what's going to happen and you're going to do it. I didn't just do that. What you have to do is you have to understand your mate, and you have to listen to your mate.
That's what I want.
If you understand your mate and listen to your mate, you know what you need to do and what you don't need to do. Now, if your mate is not a mate who, don't like you to be straightforward and talk filthy to him and all that stuff, that's a different story. You know your mate. Right. You know your mate. You're in that relationship. But if you take time to try and figure it out and try and understand, there's nothing wrong with even throwing out questions and asking questions. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. If you're afraid to do that, then you know, talk to maybe his boy and see if his boy can ask some questions. You don't have to be direct in asking the questions, but try to do something. If you've been with your spouse long enough and you love him and he loves you, vice versa, then you should be okay to sit down and have a conversation with them and communicate to figure out where you guys are, what you want to do, what's the next level. You can't stay at ground zero 24 years in a marriage and think it's going to work.
Right.
You can't. There's no way. You have to be able to move forward.
So being spontaneous, I can create something in my home. Only story I can remember when you said being spontaneous.
Girl, let me tell y'all something. This one spontaneous trick y'all don't ever want to do. I'm going to teach y'all a lesson so y'all can learn from my mistake. So I was young. I think I was maybe 2-3 years into my marriage or whatever. So we got a little house and stuff, and I decided I'm going to be spontaneous. So I was looking at something on TV. I don't know if I was looking at TV or the internet. But anyway, they were saying one of the sexiest things to do is to cook in the nude with high heels on. Right? Nothing's wrong with cooking in the nude. But make sure you pick your menu right. So here was my menu. Fried chicken, potato salad, and green peas. Fried chicken was the wrong thing because guess who was getting, popped with hot grease? Every time the chicken, as I'm frying chicken, halfway through my little mission, I had to abort. And I had to put something on. God said, let me get my crazy self and put something on because I'm going to have grease marks all over me. Right. So make sure if you choose to do that, you pick a menu that caters to your nudeness.
Cater to your what?
Your nudeness. Make sure. Cater to your nudeness.
So being spontaneous creates a thrill.
It does.
Creates excitement in my marriage, or in my.
And it can't be one-sided. I don't want you guys to think it's all about the women.
Right.
Men, if you're out here and you're on here, you're listening, you guys need to do some things too. Because it's not all about you getting the rewards and we not getting none in return. Your thing that you might be giving us ain't our reward. No, you need to prepare and plan. Because I already know what that's about. But if you prepare and prepare me for, I'm excited. So it goes both ways.
You already know what it's about.
I already know what the thing about.
What thing?
The thing. You know, the stick shift. I already know what that about. But if you gonna plan with me, if you gonna plan something, you need to plan it and work me up to that stick shift. I already know, 25 years or 24 years or 10, 5, 15 years in a marriage. After a while, you know what he's working with. So you want plan me up just like I know you know what I'm working with. So I'm planning to hype you up, going through all this process. You better bring it back to me too. It goes both ways. It's not just a one-sided thing. We like it too.
So.
We don't like to just cater. We want y'all to cater to us too. Beyonce ain't make that song just for us.
So, in my marriage or in my relationship with my spouse, it goes both ways to be spontaneous.
Absolutely.
Because it can bring the thrill on both sides.
Absolutely.
And thanks. So, what are some suggestions that you can give somebody who wants to take those steps in being spontaneous?
One suggestion I'm going to say is pay attention to your mate. Connect with your mate. Know your mate. Don't be going in the bedroom talking about Auntie Nella said, or let's watch this video from Auntie Nella. You done kill your vibe. No. Know your mate. Know the things you know he would like or wouldn't like. I could tell you, you know what? Get 6 strawberries and put in the bedroom. Your mate may not like strawberries. So cater your likings or his likings to you guys as a couple.
Right.
Work on it. Take some time and educate yourself about your spouse.
Right.
Spouse, male or female, educate yourself about your spouse. It's important. Because let me tell you something. You don't want to try something, and you try something, and he been a bat you clean across the bed. Because you done try something that he know.
What?
Or you don't want to try something, and he go to thinking, well, I wonder if she tried that with somebody else.
He should be thinking that I'm being spontaneous.
But if you're being spontaneous and you haven't, if you're being spontaneous and you connected with your mate and know what your mate like and dislike, then that's spontaneous for you as an individual couple. But if you're being spontaneous with what I'm saying, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
So don't go do it, Auntie Nella.
No, please don't. Please don't. That's a disclaimer. Don't do it. Don't do what I do.
Swing from the chandeliers and say,
don't do what I do.
That's what my mate like.
Don't do what I do, because you don't have the husband I have. Me and my husband connected. Eye to eye, toe to toe, bone to bone. We connected. I'm just saying.
Bone to bone.
Bone to bone.
So you his rib.
I'm his rib. And every time he hungry, he needs something, I got him.
So talk about a person that want to rekindle, you know, their reunite or reignite or whatever, bring back the fire in the bedroom. Can spontaneous help them bring that back in the bedroom?
It can help them, but again, if you're struggling and you're trying to light a fire into your marriage, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say just don't use sex as being spontaneous and think that's gonna fix it. Because here's the thing: the reason you're at a drought it's important to understand why you're at that drought.
Right.
And so understanding why you're at that drought is to have a conversation to understand why, to figure out where you guys are. Because if you just try something spontaneous, he may just be going through it with emotions and not fixing the situation. But you as a woman thinking, I'm going to go through this spontaneous spell and I'm going to see if that's going to fix it. No, you need to have a conversation with your spouse. You need to try and understand, why are we at this drought? What am I doing wrong? Are there some things I could change? Just be honest. Listen, if you want to work on your marriage and you want your marriage to succeed, this is where it's important for you to communicate and have an honest conversation and have a dialogue between the both of you guys to try and understand where we are. Where do we fail? Why are we not moving forward? Why are the marriages at a standstill? And then at that point, I'll be honest with you. Then you can make some decisions and say, okay, so here's what I think, here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I think we need to work on, and create an action plan. Now remember, in order for it to work, you have to see action. You have to see. You can tell me all day long you want it, but if you're not producing action, then all of that stuff is null and void. So have a conversation. Stop being afraid to have a conversation with your mate. Have a conversation with your mate. Communication kills a marriage all day, every day.
Bad communication.
Bad communication kills a marriage. If you don't have communication with your partner, it will kill it every time. You have to understand them, and they have to understand you.
So when you're saying being spontaneous and doing things that can, you know, ignite that fire, just send some text messages, some little cards. Put it on a seat.
Rose petals leading up to a bubble bath. One time I planned a hotel and I decorated the hotel. I sent him all these messages throughout the week, told him what I needed to pack. I had a car pick him up. I had them blindfold him. And then I had them drop him off to the hotel, bring him to the desk. Once he got to the desk, she would drive. Once he got to the desk, pulled the blindfolds back, and all he had to do was ask for the key. And the person at the desk knew that he was coming, gave him the key, and he walked into a room of greatness.
A room of what?
Greatness.
Man, you so corny.
So lame.
Greatness. He walked into a room of greatness.
Okay, Thundercat.
Yes, baby. He walked into a room of greatness. So it's little things that you can do if we just take the time to go back to some old school thought process. Take some time to go back to say, you know what? Beyonce made that song, I'ma cater to you. Use that opportunity to cater to your man.
Okay, and vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah, I'm catering to.
But that's a lot of stuff where I think we as women lack too, because sometimes men will cater to us when it comes to the bedroom, but we often are so set into our mindset that, oh, I don't want to be sluttish, or oh, I don't want to, him to look at me a different way. He's your husband. He's your husband. So we have to do things to cater. That old school stuff, I don't know where it went, where people just kind of old school stuff of catering to your man. Let me tell you something.
Old school.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. Every morning I get up, I fix my husband breakfast before he goes to work. Every morning.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Get home in the evening time, he has a meal cooked. If he doesn't have a meal cooked, I make sure something in his house for him to eat.
Okay.
Every day he go to work, his lunch is packed by me. That's just old school stuff that my mom taught me. Every day he leaves out the house, kiss me. Every day he comes back in, we kiss each other. That's just old school traits that I was raised up on, and that I appreciate my mom, giving those things to me, because those things are key and important. It keeps that connection, and it keeps you guys on a level field. So I'm going to say, I don't know where that piece of it got lost, but we as women need to get back into that space of, catering to our men. I'm not saying you have to do everything But there's some little things you have to show them to appreciate them.
Right.
Again, that's where it comes to, allowing the man to feel like he's the man. He's the leader of the house. It doesn't mean I need to let my ego get in front of me and feel like,
right.
I work too. I got a 9-to-5 job too.
Right.
I make just as much as he makes.
Too.
You know what I'm saying? He
like
could do more than he could do just what I'm doing. So
I like my lunch pack.
Correct. And so that's the things where I say, for me, it's me. You could choose to do whatever you like. But for me, I was raised, this is how my mom raised me to be.
Right.
And so I've kept that, and I will continue to do it. So you just have to feel your situation out that's best for you.
Right.
But some of the things that are old school, catering to your man, go back to that.
Right, and some stuff what works for you may not fit in
the mold
of
for somebody
else's situation,
it
because
may not.
that works for you.
Correct.
It
may not. But
right.
what I try to do is I try to give you guys a platform. I'm not saying for you to mimic me.
Right.
Because then if you mimic me, you're not being true to your own
marriage.
identity.
Right.
And so you have to be true to who you are. So don't mimic me. I want you to take some of the little things or some of the things I share with you and create your own action plan to allow your marriage to work.
So you be spontaneous over here with Thundercat.
I'm just Thundercat, be spontaneous.
So
girl.
give me something Uncle Mike did that was spontaneous to you.
To me?
Yeah. He did it. So you did it for him,
mm-hmm.
but also give an example where a man being spontaneous helps
mm-hmm.
show you that you
mm-hmm.
appreciate it and validate it.
Mm-hmm.
So give me an example of something.
One of the things I will say is, and this is one thing of me knowing my mate, my husband is spontaneous, but he's not as spontaneous as I am. So I will go above and beyond.
Okay.
Flowers, rose petals, bubble baths, all of that stuff. One of the things early on in the relationship is I'm one of these people that, when I was younger, I'm not this way now. When I was younger, I would love to go out for dinner. And I would love to go out to like seafood places because I'm from
right.
South. I'm from New Orleans. So I would love to go out for seafood. He planned this, and I can't think of the name of the restaurant. He planned this nice restaurant. There was a piano, and I'll never forget, it's on Canal Street behind Walgreens, but I can't think of the name of the place. But it was a piano player was in there. There was other tables in there. The lights were dim. For me, that was great, and here's why. Because he's not a person that's gonna go above and beyond.
Right.
But he took the time to hear
right.
and plan, hey, I know this is what my wife loves. Here's what I'm gonna do. So you don't have to, I don't expect him to go above and beyond like I go,
right.
but I do expect little things like that. Little things goes a long way for me. Right. You don't have to give me a big carrot on my finger. You don't have to, give me jewelry every time. You have to at least acknowledge it with certain things,
right.
Little things. It doesn't have to be anything big.
And it's very important when being spontaneous.
Oh, let me share one other one. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have to share this before I forget. One other thing. One other thing that he was really spontaneous about too is normally for anniversary I'm usually the one that's constantly giving flowers or roses or whatever. Well, last year he brought me he ordered a dozen of roses, a dozen of strawberries. And then he had a card, and I forgot what else he had. Was that it? I think that was it. But it came in, and it was delivered here. It came in, and for me, that's spontaneous for him because that's not something he would normally do. And he took the time to write the card about how long we have been together, and he appreciated 24 years. Actually, it was this year, 24 years. So that kind of stuff, simple stuff like that. You don't have to go all out for me.
Right.
You don't.
And I would say it's very important to know your mate's love language.
You do.
If you do not find out anything, Google 5 love languages and find out the love language, and then you can be spontaneous on the love language, and it'll go further than showing I'm just doing something.
It really would, because my love language is going to be different than yours.
Right.
And so it's important to understand, and that's why I say it's communication. In order for you to know your husband's love language or your spouse's love language or your partner's love language, you have to have a conversation. You have to pay attention to what's going on. So it's important. Don't take everything I'm telling you and try to use everything I'm telling you and think that it's going to benefit you. Right. It doesn't.
And there's also a test you can take. that.
So do
Here's
it.
the 5 love languages.
Go out
So tell
and do
me.
it.
So okay, I'm this girl, a guy, and before we go off, being spontaneous, how it's gonna put some thrill, and you know how you tell Uncle Mike and stuff like that. But you know, I'm like I said, I done took the steps in being spontaneous, and now I'm like, okay, I want to go big. Give me some examples of what could be some things that's big. You know, I didn't took my little step.
The biggest thing I would tell
I
you
would say, like, one comment was from a person, I don't know who said this, I think the dirtiest or the biggest or the thing that I could say, oh, this so spontaneous, you know, he gonna love it or she gonna love it.
Well, for me, the most spontaneous thing, and like I said, this is me, the most spontaneous, and I don't know who haven't done this, they may not admit it, but somebody done it in their lifetime.
What?
Have sex in the back of a car. Somebody done that in their lifetime. Don't listen to the little girl, because the little girl
Don't have sex in the back of the car. The police will pull up on you and give you a ticket.
If the police pull up on and say, give me this ticket, but I feel good. Thank you. Thank you. You can't feel guilty for doing something spontaneous.
Make sure it's with your husband.
Make sure it's with your husband. You ain't with somebody else's man. Make sure you will come home with a ticket for somebody else's problems. But I'm gonna say
back of the car, girl.
Yes, girl. I'm gonna say if you're in the park, girl, you can try all kind of stuff. What I'm gonna say to you guys is, if you're, you know, it's new and you've done it, you know, you've treaded your water slightly and you've done it for the first time, you like and you want to go big. One of the big things to do is I'm gonna say is go to rent a hotel room. Rent that hotel room, plan it out. You know, give him subliminal messages throughout the week without telling him. But when Friday comes, the message you give him that Friday morning, you need to tell him what he needs to pack.
Okay.
Because you want to, I mean, it could be you taking him on a getaway.
Right.
You know, 20, 30 minutes away from home, or out from home. But you have to make sure on that Friday, you're clear, you give him clear directions of what you want. My clear directions was, I told him what he needed to pack. I told him what time he needed to be ready. I told him who was going to be there to pick him up. And that's all he needed to know. Because the persons that picked him up knew everything else of the destination he needed to get to. Because I didn't want him to know the destination he was going to. Okay. But I did also tell him is, when you reach your destination, there's going to be a female at the desk. Here's what you need to do. And I explained to him to tell him what he needs to do. And then I explained to him, once you get that key, you need to come up to the room number that's given to you and unlock the door. Okay. And when he walked in, I had candles, I had rose petals, I had the bed decorated, I had balloons, I had a little ottoman with my lingerie on there, I had toys, I had creams, I had lotions, I had everything, I had wine, I had it all. So I'm going to say, take some time to plan it and do it big.
Good. So before we go off, just to wrap it up, so spontaneous is knowing what my mate want and doing the things that can bring back some thrill. It can bring back some excitement in my marriage. It can bring back some things to show that I do appreciate my mate by being spontaneous.
And it can bring back some emotions.
But be spontaneous for what works for your
marriage,
relationship and marriage, not what mimics Ask Auntie Nella. Nope. So I hope you guys enjoyed this post. We kind of went over 2 minutes. Auntie Nella Love After Dark.
I'm sorry.
If you have any question, inbox her.
Send me suggestions for After Dark.
Send some suggestions for YouTube relationships. If you want to learn more about her after dark session, send it to her. So before we go off, let's give some love. Show some hearts out there. Show Auntie Nella some love, and just know that be spontaneous. It brings the thrill back in your relationship. Until next time,
see you guys next Monday.